Orion is strapped into the arena's combat platform, surrounded by deadly traps. The audience sees Lyra taunt him with alien technology and superior strength. Orion's inner monologue reveals he's studied alien physiology and combat patterns. The arena suddenly changes shape, turning into a maze filled with hazards. From a past mission, Lyra's expression shifts from amusement to surprise and curiosity. Quick montage of Orion outsmarting her warriors one by one, without killing them, showing his strategic mind. Lyra and Orion face each other in the arena's central ring. The aliens gather in suspense, whispering about the humans' bravery. Orion's calm demeanor annoys Lyra, making her underestimate him. The duel begins with lightning-fast combat, showcasing alien strength versus human ingenuity. Orion uses the arena itself as a weapon, triggering traps strategically. Lyra's confidence starts to crack as Orion anticipates her moves. Mid-duel, Orion reveals a hidden power, a device that temporarily neutralizes alien energy weapons. Welcome to my channel Sci-Fi Love Story. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. The arena floated silently in the black void of space, a massive structure of shimmering metal and glowing lights. Ships and alien spectators hovered above it, forming a circle of anticipation. At the center stood Princess Lyra, her armored silhouette glinting under the arena's energy field. She was a vision of perfection, tall, fierce, and confident, with eyes that seemed to pierce through the very soul of anyone who dared meet her gaze. And now, she had found a new plaything. On the opposite side of the arena, Captain Orion stepped out of the teleportation pod. His human frame looked ordinary compared to the towering alien warriors surrounding him, yet there was a calmness in his stride that made some of the spectators uneasy. He wasn't trembling. He wasn't panicking. He wasn't afraid. Lyra's smile curved into a mocking sneer. "You won't last a minute, human," she said loudly, her voice carrying across the arena. The words were meant to humiliate, to strip him of any confidence. The crowd of aliens chuckled, many of them leaning forward, eager to see the human fail spectacularly. Orion, however, just smiled, a slow, confident smile. "I guess we'll see," he replied, his voice calm but firm. The first few minutes were simple observation, the arena designed to test the human's reaction. Panels on the floor shifted and moved, revealing spinning blades, pressure plates, and pits filled with unknown chemicals that glowed a sickly green. Lasers shot in patterns that could shred a human in seconds. Most of Lyra's challenges had failed within moments, their screams echoing through the arena. But Orion did not panic. He scanned the room carefully, noting patterns in the traps. Each laser had a rhythm. Each moving blade followed a subtle sequence. He observed quietly, weighing his options. Lyra tilted her head, intrigued. "You're not afraid?" she asked. Her voice was sharp, almost musical. "Do you think your species can survive what my ancestors have perfected?" "I'm not afraid," Orion replied. "I survive because I study, not because I hope." The first trap sprung. A floor panel shifted beneath him, revealing a pit lined with glowing energy spikes. Most humans would have panicked. Orion didn't. He leaped to the side with precision, his boots hitting the metal with a soft clang. The spikes grazed the edge of his armor, sending a shower of sparks into the air. The audience gasped. "Interesting," Lyra murmured, her amusement turning to curiosity. Most humans would have screamed. The second trap activated, a series of spinning blades swung from the walls like metal snakes. Orion ducked and rolled, narrowly avoiding a fatal strike. His movements were fluid, almost artistic, but calculated. Every twist of his body, every step he took, had a purpose. Lyra's brow furrowed. Something about him was unusual. She had fought humans before, but never one like this. His eyes held a sharp intelligence, a calmness, and a hidden strength. "You rely too much on luck, human," she said, stepping down from her platform. "I will personally end this." The arena responded instantly. The floor panels shifted again, walls rotated, and the environment became a maze. Lava-like chemicals flowed through channels, and energy barriers rose like walls of glass. The traps weren't just designed to kill, they were designed to confuse, to disorient, to break a challenger mentally before physically. But Orion adapted. He ran, jumped, and climbed, never hesitating. At one point, a section of the floor tried to trap him in a collapsing cage. Instead of panicking, he triggered a small device hidden in his gauntlet. The cage's energy field overloaded, and the metal panels melted before they could trap him. Lyra's eyes widened. "So you have devices, clever human," she muttered. But cleverness alone will not save you. She unleashed her elite warriors, 6 alien soldiers trained in years of combat. They were fast, lethal, and completely loyal to her. They spread through the maze, coordinating their attacks to corner him. Lasers streaked through the air, traps activated with precision, and yet Orion still moved with unmatched efficiency. He dodged, countered, and even turned the arena's hazards against the warriors. A rotating blade sliced one alien's armor just enough to knock him off balance. A pressure plate sent another flying into a pit. Orion never struck to kill. He's simple. Why neutralized threats? Lyra's frustration grew. Her confidence was slipping. You are better than I expected, she admitted under her breath, almost reluctantly. But can you survive me? Orion paused, standing in the center of a narrow walkway. Sweat glistened on his forehead, not from fear, but from exertion. His gaze met hers. I don't need to survive you, he said. I need to outsmart you. Lyra smirked, clearly enjoying the challenge. She approached the walkway herself, her armor clinking with every step. She moved with a grace that was almost predatory. Outsmart me, she laughed. Do you even understand who I am? I understand enough, Orion replied. You fight with strength, strategy, and intimidation. I've seen all three before. But I've never faced someone who underestimates their opponent as badly as you do. Her eyes narrowed, and a faint red glow appeared around her armor, a sign of her combat readiness. She lunged forward. The duel began, not with fists, but with strategy. Orion lured her into the trap she had set, predicting her moves just a step ahead. For every strike she aimed at him, he had a counter ready. Every trap she thought would ensnare him was instead turned back on her. The audience gasped as the princess stumbled slightly, the first sign of vulnerability she had ever shown in public. A gasping alien whispered to another, no human has ever done this before. Lyra's frustration turned to something else, curiosity. There was something unusual about him, something beyond the physical. His movements were precise, his decisions calculated, his courage unnerving. Orion noticed the slight hesitation in her. A small smile formed on his lips. You're strong, he said softly. But even the strongest can be outsmarted. Her glow flared brighter. Do not underestimate me, human. One more mistake and you die. He nodded slightly, moving into the next section of the arena, a series of narrow platforms above a pit filled with pulsing energy. The platforms shifted constantly, some tilting dangerously, some disappearing entirely. Most challenges would have fallen immediately. Orion navigated them like he was walking on solid ground. Lyra followed, her steps slower than usual. Each time she lunged, he anticipated her move, using her momentum against her. He didn't attack, he simply avoided, blocked, and maneuvered. Finally, they reached the heart of the arena, a circular platform surrounded by glowing energy walls. Lyra paused, breathing hard, her composure slightly cracked. Orion stood opposite her, his chest rising and falling steadily. You have skill, she said, almost begrudgingly. But now comes the real test. She raised her hand, and the arena shifted one last time. The walls rotated, the floor morphed into a series of moving rings, and energy spears emerged from the ground. Survive me, she said. Face me in combat. If you survive me, maybe, just maybe, you will earn respect. Orion's eyes gleamed. I don't need respect, he replied. I need to survive, and I intend to. The camera panned out, showing the arena from above. The spectators were on edge. Every alien in the crowd whispered, unsure if the human could possibly survive the princess herself. Lyra took a deep breath and charged. Orion braced himself, a calm smile on his face. The duel between human ingenuity and alien strength was about to begin, and no one in the arena, not even Lyra, knew who would come out alive. The arena's energy walls pulsed ominously, casting flickering shadows across the circular platform where Princess Lyra and Captain Orion faced each other. The crowd of alien spectators leaned forward, their whispers growing into a low hum of anticipation. For the first time, Lyra's confidence seemed slightly shaken. The human standing before her had survived traps, outsmarted her warriors, and moved with a precision no ordinary human could match. She flexed her fingers, energy glowing faintly along her armor. You are clever, she admitted, her voice cold but tinged with respect. But cleverness alone will not save you from me. Orion's calm gaze met hers. I don't plan to rely on cleverness alone, he said softly. I survive because I adapt. Lyra smirked, a hint of a challenge in her eyes. Then adapt to this. With a sudden leap, she lunged forward, her claws glowing with lethal energy. Orion dodged, rolling to the side, the tips of her claws missing him by inches. The first clash of the duel was not just physical, it was a test of reflexes, speed, and mental acuity. Orion quickly realized something. Lyra fought with predictable patterns, refined through years of training. Her strikes were precise but rigid. Each movement had a rhythm, a tempo that could be studied and anticipated. He smiled to himself and adjusted his stance. This was a human advantage, improvisation. The princess struck again, faster this time, her energy leaving streaks in the air. Orion blocked the strike with a small energy shield, absorbing the impact. Sparks flew, illuminating his determined expression. "You are faster than I expected," Lyra admitted through gritted teeth. "But can you keep up?" Orion ducked under her next blow, flipping backward and kicking a lever hidden in the platform. Instantly, the floor shifted, creating a series of rotating rings beneath her feet. Lyra stumbled slightly, her balance thrown off. Orion seized the opportunity, advancing carefully but steadily. The spectators gasped. Never before had a human displayed such skill in a direct confrontation with the princess. Whispers spread. "He may survive this, he may actually survive." Lyra's eyes narrowed. She adjusted her approach, blending her strikes with acrobatic flips and sudden energy bursts. The duel escalated quickly. Every movement Orion made was countered by her precise attacks, yet he never panicked. He moved with calm calculation, anticipating, reacting, and sometimes forcing her to make mistakes. Then Orion did something unexpected. He activated a small device hidden under his gauntlet. A faint pulse spread across the arena, temporarily neutralizing the energy fields around Lyra's armor and weapons. Her strikes slowed, her speed diminished, just enough for Orion to gain a clear advantage. Lyra froze for a fraction of a second, the first sign of hesitation in her entire life. "Impossible," she whispered, shock evident in her voice. Orion didn't waste a moment. He closed the distance between them, carefully avoiding her weakened strikes while searching for an opening. Lyra lashed out, but he sidestepped, twisting her momentum against her. She nearly fell off the rotating platforms, regaining balance at the last moment. "You underestimate humans," Orion said, his voice steady. "We survive by thinking, not just by fighting." Lyra's fury burned brighter. Her eyes glowed red, energy rippling across her armor. She moved faster, stronger, striking with renewed intensity. Orion responded with agility, dodging, weaving, and using the arena itself as a weapon. Platforms shifted under her feet, energy spears rose from below, and traps she had intended for him now forced her to adapt. The duel reached its peak intensity. Sparks flew, platforms shook, and the arena itself seemed to react to their battle. For every attack Lyra made, Orion had a counter. For every trap she triggered, he had a plan. And yet, he never attacked to kill, he only aimed to survive, to outmaneuver. Lyra's breaths grew heavy. She had never faced an opponent who could match her intellect and adapt so quickly. Doubt crept in, subtle but undeniable. The crowd of aliens noticed the shift, some whispering in awe, others in disbelief. You are not ordinary," Lyra admitted, her voice shaking slightly. Who are you?" Orion smiled faintly, brushing a bead of sweat from his forehead. "Someone who refuses to be underestimated," he replied. "And someone who doesn't need to prove strength by killing." The princess's rage flared, but she also felt something she had never experienced, respect. She launched one final, all-out attack, energy radiating from her claws like fire. Orion anticipated it. He sidestepped, triggering another device that sent a pulse through the platform. The floor shifted violently, causing Lyra to stumble, her energy momentarily disrupted. Orion seized the moment. He moved closer, stepping into her space, his posture calm but commanding. "It doesn't have to end this way," he said. "You can survive this without me dying, and you can still retain your honor." Lyra froze, blinking in surprise. She had expected a human to fight to the death, to scream, to panic, to fail. But not him, not someone who survived everything she threw at him. And now he offered mercy, an act of honor she had not anticipated. For the first time, she realized she had misjudged him completely. A strange sensation washed over her, something she had never felt before. Respect, curiosity, and maybe, just maybe, admiration. Orion slowly stepped back, giving her space. "I have survived your traps, outsmarted your warriors, and adapted to your attacks. But this isn't about proving who is stronger. It's about surviving, and learning from each other. Lyra's energy faded slightly, her posture relaxing. She inhaled deeply, trying to regain her composure. You are different, she admitted. No human has ever faced me like this before. No one has earned my respect in battle. Until now. The crowd erupted in whispers and murmurs. Aliens who had scoffed at the human now stared in awe. Even her warriors looked at Orion with newfound reverence. Lyra extended her hand, a gesture of truce. You have survived me, she said, her voice quieter now. I offer you this, respect. And perhaps, an alliance. You are not like the humans I have known. Orion took her hand firmly, acknowledging her gesture. Respect is earned through action, not words, he replied. I intend to continue earning it. The arena's energy walls retracted, returning to their neutral state. The spectators cheered, some in disbelief, others in admiration. Orion had survived the impossible, outsmarting traps, evading warriors, and even facing the alien princess herself. Lyra looked at him, her earlier arrogance replaced with a quiet curiosity. This is only the beginning, she said, almost to herself. Humans, perhaps they are stronger than I imagined. Orion nodded, still calm, still in control. And perhaps you've underestimated the value of strategy over strength. The camera panned out, showing the vast arena, the crowd, and the two figures standing in the center. For a moment, silence hung over the scene, then slowly, applause and cheers rose. The impossible had been achieved. A human had survived, not just through brute force, but through intelligence, strategy, and honor. Lyra stepped aside, allowing Orion to leave the arena. As he walked toward the teleportation pod, the princess whispered, almost to herself, I will remember this human, and next time, perhaps the challenge will be even greater. The story closed on a note of suspense. The audience knew this was not the end. Orion had survived the duel, but the galaxy was vast, full of challenges, enemies, and mysteries. The human who had defied the princess had proven something far greater than strength. The power of intellect, adaptability, and honor in the face of impossible odds. And for every alien who had doubted humanity, one truth now rang clear: never underestimate the human spirit.